Beginner gardeners, join me as we continue to talk about this garden plan that has 4 by 4 beds and what you can plant when you have holes open up throughout the season. So let's get to it. The first bed that's going to have a gap is this bed here with the potatoes and spinach, because spinach likes to bolt as soon as it starts to get warm. So let's fill those holes. Right here, we're going to add one cilantro plant. Cilantro, I found, helps the potatoes and helps disguise the potatoes from the potato beetle. Just let it go to flower when it starts to flower. And here we're going to add one dill plant. The umbrella shape of the dill flower can help attract beneficial insects. This area we're going to use to plant bush beans. Bush beans can be planted with no additional support and can be planted 9 per square foot. These bush beans should mature before you have to dig up the potato plants. Just make sure you check on your seed packets how many days to maturity you have. Around the same time or just before, you'll start to see gaps in this bed as well, especially with the radishes. If your weather is still relatively cool, you can use this time to plant some leafy lettuce. It can be planted 9 per square foot. Try to find a variety that's a little more heat tolerant. The next gap you'll likely see is in this pea area here, as they don't like the heat very much, which gives you a perfect opening to transplant some cucumber plants in here, as you already have the trellis in place. Cucumbers technically can be planted 2 per square foot, but I find that's just a bit too much. I recommend putting either 2 plants here, or you can do 4 in total on this trellis. If you're going to get something like an F1 hybrid from Johnny Seeds or something that's meant to produce a lot, you'll only need 2. I like Piccolino. And likely that lettuce won't last too long once you get into heat, and this would be a good time to add a nasturtium seed in here. Technically, nasturtiums can be planted 4 per square foot. However, they do tend to bulk up a lot, so I would just put 1 in each, and this will give you nice color into the fall. Once it frosts over, they don't last through the frost though. Next, you're likely to see a gap when you dig up your potato plants. Make sure that you're planting an early variety that's about 90 days. And like I said, bush beans will mature pretty quickly, so those can come out as well. Now, if your cilantro and chamomile are still going strong, you can leave them in, or you can reseed some new plants in here. Now we're going to utilize this bed for growing some summer squash, but we could also add in some sunflowers. I recommend getting some dwarf varieties of sunflowers that won't grow too tall, and you can put 1 per square foot right in the middle. You can direct seed them right in your garden as long as you don't have any squirrels or birds that you think are going to dig them up. Otherwise, you may want to start them and give them a little bit of a head start and then put the plants out. In the corners here, we're going to add summer squash. Now, summer squash generally takes up 4 square feet or more because the leaves get really big. But if you have it on the corner of your bed, the leaves can kind of flop outside of the bed. But expect it to cover this area and shade this area up here. We're also going to plant some nasturtiums like we did over here. Nasturtiums are companions with anything like squash and cucumbers. I do recommend that you get Alaskan nasturtiums because they won't vine out as much as some other ones. Some other ones can get kind of crazy. And then we're going to add another one right down here. And for your summer squash, you can do a zucchini and a yellow crookneck, or 2 zucchinis. You can mix and match. They won't cross-pollinate in the first year. Just the seeds may be impacted. The next place we're going to have a gap here is in these onions, and that's going to open up a chance to grow another set of bush beans, which again can be grown 9 per square foot. In my zone, we plant garlic in the fall time frame. I would suggest planting it in this area with the basil, which can be planted 9 per square foot. These plants will come back the following year here, and then your garlic will start to grow here as well. That still leaves the space open, and garlic and tomatoes are also companions as well. I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, let me know in the comments. Also, make sure you favorite this so you have it for later, and please like and follow for more content like this and much more.